What is up, guys? My name is Junior486, and today we are doing a way different type of video than original. Now this type of video was actually suggested in by Clint. I'll show you just now. Now I do hope you guys do enjoy this storytime video. Now this storytime video that I wanted to make and was actually there by Clint is actually very fucking terrifying. No, it's not that terrifying as I look back to it, but it was terrifying if you were a kid. So yeah, let's get into it, boys. All right, now some of you know that I actually live in Europe, and I do live in an island, and this story time is actually about wildfires destroying basically my whole fucking area, if you know what I mean. My whole town was, but not my whole town, but most of my town was destroyed by wildfires. Now what I'm gonna do right now is actually gonna give you guys a clip right now of the news that I think came from England. And England actually, English news, actually been on the island itself and actually witnessed the fire. So I'll just give you guys that clip for now.
Have died in wildfires on the Portuguese island of Madeira. One of the victims was an elderly woman who was killed when her home caught fire near the capital, Funchal. More than 100 active fires are burning and have forced thousands of people to evacuate. Firefighters say steep hills and dense woodland are making it more difficult to put out the flames. Well, for some more on this, we can speak to Francisco Cordofo, who's joining us now from Portugal. Francisco, good to speak to you. Just please bring us the latest on this situation in Madeira.
Well, good evening. The situation feels concerning. I'm in a rooftop of a building. I see the mountains. Some of the great part of the island, the Madeira and Funchal, is still burning. So the fire troops are trying to keep the fire displaced from the houses. There were many houses burned. They talk about 40, but I think it's more than that. Newspaper and television here in Portugal said it was about 300 houses affected. So totally burns, we can confirm 40. So the situation, as I said, it's continue to burn. In the forest, it's a huge smog we can see from the central city. It's very difficult to breathe in some parts. Here in the downtown, we have a normal situation. We can see people look around and in the shoppings and in the cafes and the tourists and the local people trying to keep normality. Yesterday night was the situation, the very dangerous situation, because it was a fire in many buildings here in the downtown. But now we can say it's a complete normal situation, because it's a forest fire.
So as you saw, it was actually pretty terrifying. And here's an aftermath. Here's a picture of the aftermath of one of the areas that was affected. Pretty terrifying indeed, and most areas were affected on the island, including one main area which is in the middle of the island. And I actually used to live in the middle of the island, and I still do. I'm actually on it right now. And here's how it was, right? I was on the beach. Now this island actually has this road that you can go mega fast, like super fast with your car, and then you can actually just go home quicker than just normal. And yeah, it has that. And then there's tunnels, because if you guys saw by the images, there's actually a lot of mountains and shit. So to go fast, you need to go through tunnels, and up above the tunnels there's obviously trees, and the trees were obviously on fire. So I actually wanted to go to the east part of the island, which was at the beach. Now bear in mind, before this happened, I was actually at the beach with my family, just spending time with my family. And also bear in mind that this happened when I was on a holiday, not when I was living there, only when I was on a holiday, which is makes this quite convenient, to be honest. But anyway, so we got out of the car. We got to the tunnel, one of the tunnels, to go home. And then we see a fire, like a big ass fire, in top of the tunnel, with the trees just burning on top of it. And then all cars were like going backwards instead of forwards, which was so like there was cars like squeaking and shit. It was fucking like horrible, but it was alright. I mean, back then I actually used to be way more courageous. I still am, but like not as back then. And back then I was actually onto Call of Duty stuff, and I'll get onto that later. And how it actually helped me. I don't know how it helped me. I'll tell you how it helped me soon. But anyway, so we needed to go the long way home because of the fire. And I'm just saying, this island is quite small, and for it being small, and there's actually 200, sorry about the car in the background, I don't know what the hell's going on, but assuming that 200,000 people are living on this island makes it fucking horrible, because most of the people have cars, and this island is the roads on this island are small as hell. So you can imagine where I'm going onto now. We're going home through another way, which was Sango. Bear in mind, if you hear some Portuguese words, just bear with me. The places and some of the places I'm going to tell you about are also in Portuguese. So we were into Sango Solo, and this is where there's a lot of there's good views and shit. But the thing is, there was a whole cloud of fire, like the smoke. There was so much smoke, and then we went down it. Down Sango Solo, and then we went to my school, which is my current school. We went there so we can go home through the town, and the fire was blocking it, so we couldn't go anywhere. We only needed to stay at the east of the island, if you guys know what I mean. So since there was a parking lot, because we actually needed to abandon the car, we couldn't go backwards because there was a lot of cars, a lot. It would take at least 3 hours to go back up. That's how many cars there was. There was so many just going up and down, up and down, up and down. It was fucking terrifying. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It was terrifying, and we needed to abandon the car. Now luckily there was actually a car spot, but the thing is, the car spot was literally like, I should say 5 minutes away from the fire. And then as soon as we abandoned the car, I think I was like 12 years old, so I had like this little teddy bear, so I abandoned everything else, and I just took the teddy bear with me because he actually meant a lot to me. And then so I took it. My dad abandoned the car, and then we needed to go to my aunt's house. Now we needed to walk all the way up in the mountain with smoke behind us, smoke everywhere, like fire smoke everywhere from the fire, which, if you guys know, it's obviously not good for your lungs and to breathe. It's like fucking horrible. It can give you cancer and shit. But anyway, we need to go up a very top of it's not the biggest mountain, but we needed to go up a very high mountain, and obviously high mountains means wind, and we needed to walk up that wind, and it was turning to night time, so you can tell where that was going. So we walked up. Now if you guys, this is where the Call of Duty skills come in. Since I used to play a lot of shit Call of Duty, like Black Ops 1. It was a lot of smoke screens. I was just saying, I was there like, alright, I need to deal with the smoke and just not breathe at all. And luckily, we were actually tired. So luckily, there was this woman that was in her apartment, and she actually, out of all of us, she gave us water. Believe it or not. So there was my dad, my mom, my sister, and that was it, and me, of course. So we walked up the mountain. And then at the very top of the mountain, of course, there was high winds, and that mountain's called Pinnacle, and again another Portuguese word. But it was terrifying. It was actually turning into nighttime, so we needed, because there was no safety on top of the mountain because this island is very old. We needed to literally like walk right beside the wall. First there was cars. And second, like, you can actually legit get run over on top of the mountain with a car. That's how terrifying it was. And then luckily, very luckily, we actually, one of the strangers that was on the car actually had room for 4 of us. I don't know how there was room for 4 of us, but there was, because he had a big ass car. So, our objective was to go to my aunt's house, because she's the only one that lives in the east part of the island. So, and bear in mind how fucking her house is horrible. It's like very dirty as hell. Yeah, sure, my PS4 was dirty, but again, I had it for 5 years, so don't speak, okay? Anyway, so we needed to go to my aunt's house, and we actually needed to sleep there because our neighbor in our current house, which is mine right now, actually said that our house was on fire. Not completely on fire, but like there was actually an apartment right beside our house. So I live in an apartment. There's an apartment right beside it, and the fire went up it. And then not all of it though, not all of it, because it was under construction, so not all of it. It was like 40 seconds away from my house. That's how close the fire was. Luckily, the firefighters were able to take it out. But yeah, so we need to make. And then we got onto the car of the stranger, and then he said, "Can you take us to Garajal, which is where my aunt lives?" So so then they took us. We were having fun talking and shit after the terrifying moments. Bear in mind, I also walked up me and my family walked up the mountain for at least, I would say, nearly 3 hours, just walking up, trying to make it. And so it happened. When we arrived to our aunt's house, my uncle just gave us a spot to sleep. I slept with my mum. And my dad, no, wait, I can't remember how it was. Well, I slept with one of my family members, I think. So, I did sleep, and then after we went home, our windows were with ashes. And then a few days later, there was literally, and I'm not even joking, literally ashes everywhere. Like, I mean, when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere. This island is it's a big island. It's quite a big island, and it was freaking everywhere. Like the ashes. Sorry about the bus in the background, but the ashes were everywhere, literally everywhere. It was kind of the terrifying thing. If you guys saw, when not even recent, like 2 months ago, I actually did a video similar to this, but it was just an actual like warning thing. Where there was a house on fire, I don't know how you call it on fire. It was something similar to that. And oh yeah, one part I didn't say is when I did left the car, or when my whole family abandoned the car. As soon as we got out of the car, there was this barrel, and you guys know what barrels do. They explode when fire hits them because there's gas in it. So like one house was completely destroyed by the fire. I don't know where it is right now, but it was completely destroyed by the barrel. So you guys can tell how terrifying this shit is. I mean, like, if you can't tell, then you're retarded. And then, yeah, that's all I remember, really. I cannot remember too much. I can't remember specific features, but my PlayStation was in my house, which makes this worse. But it was in my house. But yeah, it was quite a terrifying experience. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video. I wanted to make something like this so you guys can enjoy and appreciate the terrifying experience. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.